In my previous videos I talked about how Square Enix mismanaged the Dragon Quest series, which kept it from succeeding outside of Japan. And I framed it as problematic. At the time it never even occurred to me that since this community has allowed minority of regressives to whom everything new is scary and unknown, a few people see Dragon Quest's failure in the West as a good thing. I've been doing a lot of journalistic legwork recently for an upcoming video. And as part of that I've been talking to a lot of people, including people from parts of the community that I don't usually engage with. And there were 3 problems of this community that I was exposed to more than usual. Right now I only want to talk about one specific elitist idea that popped up dozens of times. The claim is that Dragon Quest is better off not being mainstream outside of Japan. The term mainstream has a negative connotation. We associate it with a loss of individuality, sellouts, overall shallow media when compared to products that are more indie and not brought in line for the broadest appeal. But that's only loose associations. Dragon Quest's niche status in the West doesn't come from the games inherently being niche, since as I've shown in my last video, they appeal to a wide demographic in Japan. When talking about a what-if scenario where Dragon Quest was managed and advertised better in the West, those associations and the irrational hatred of everything popular need to go out the window. So what would actually change? The first most obvious aspect would be localizations. People have already been screaming for years about how badly they want Dragon Quest X. It's a matter of just how many voices are making themselves heard, and if the market for Dragon Quest in the West was bigger, if localizations were more profitable, then we'd get more. Ever complained online about how you need a VPN to play Dragon Quest X? Ever had a complaint about a fan translation being buggy? Did you complain when any of the mobile games shut down? If so, you would have greatly benefited from Dragon Quest being more mainstream. But that's just the quantity of localizations, the quality would also improve. More budget means more people would be involved, and while for most art more people involved could alter someone's original vision, for a localization, something that is exclusively trying to not let any of the involved people's ideas alter the original, more people involved would mean that there would be more chances for someone to stop for a second and ask, hey guys, should we really insert those random Spanish words? And all of that was low-hanging fruit. What people usually name as an upside to Dragon Quest's failure are their communities. They want the Dragon Quest fandom to feel exclusive. And while, as a Dragon Quest fan, as a human, I want more people to experience these games, one of my main goals with these videos is to get more people interested in the series that I'm so passionate about. Despite me feeling that way, I know that you can't appeal to someone's empathy nowadays. But tangibly and objectively, the fandom would be better off if Dragon Quest wasn't as niche. And first, to make this objective, I want to operationalize the fandom's improvement. The argument that the vibe in a bigger community just wouldn't be the same is unfounded vague nonsense. Even right now, nobody is engaging with the fandom in its entirety. Everybody is only interacting with a specific group of people, and the only thing that changes about how many people you interact with if the community grows is that the ceiling of how many people you could possibly interact with grows. You could still have your small forums and Discord servers with 50 people, there would just be bigger ones out there. And regardless of what your specific takes are, you are statistically bound to find more like-minded individuals among a larger group of people. What I'm trying to say is that your subjective perception of what's good or not falls out of the equation, because no matter what your perception of good is, what matters isn't the community at large, it's the amount of people you consider good company that are in the community. And at the end of the day, that number directly correlates with the player count. So if an individual's perception of the community at worst stays the same, what changes? That comes down to 3 points. A bigger franchise would get more and deeper coverage. One of the most cited news articles from the time leading up to the HD remake of 3 was by That Park Place. And that one had only one source, which was a shitpost Twitter account. That's not journalism, that's garbage. Not even discussing that they called homosexuality immoral and wrong. Now, wouldn't these articles just pop up more often if there was more attention to be gained by lying about Dragon Quest? The point is that more eyes would be on the article, which means more skepticism, meaning it would be harder for these third-rate sites to get away with spouting nonsense. Another aspect would be that corporately made guides like Game 8 wouldn't suck so bad. English Game 8 is unusable for any Dragon Quest and they have no interest in paying someone to improve the site. And this leads me to the second point, which is that the community made resources and their information would improve. The wikis have problems, and having more people in the community would mean that there would be more people that can help fix those. That should be pretty blatant. Regrettably, however, I have to inform you that there are people out there that argue Dragon Quest is at its best when you're not using a guide, and therefore there shouldn't be any good sources of information out there. Like, they argue that it's good that the wikis are missing a lot of information, since otherwise people would bastardize the intended experience by looking up info online. And if you think that, then I'm sorry. This video isn't for you. You're a sacrifice I'm making in the name of concision. The last point is that a larger community would be a better environment for everything fan-made. Be it fan games, mods, translations or any form of art, be it music, drawings or animations. There aren't many people doing it, and the people doing it aren't able to justify doing it as much as they would if Dragon Quest was bigger. Everybody that currently engages in any of these activities despite that is absolutely amazing. I have nothing but love for all of you. But if you're attentive, you'll notice that I left out one form of fan content, which is content creation, what I'm doing right now. There is only a small selection of Dragon Quest YouTubers right now, and I believe that comes down to a harsh barrier of entry. There have been tons of Dragon Quest YouTubers that were stuck at literal 0 views, then gave up, and I've been there for a while myself, back when I made the Dragon Quest 7 story analysis videos. The reason that getting started is especially hard for Dragon Quest YouTubers is not only because there are not many people that like Dragon Quest, even if that's a correlation, but more so because YouTube doesn't have a way of detecting whether somebody would be interested in Dragon Quest. Viewer personalization makes it so the algorithm recommends videos to people that watch that sort of content. And currently, since there isn't all that much good Dragon Quest content, there also aren't that many active Dragon Quest YouTube enjoyers. Which means that even out of the people that are Dragon Quest fans, or what the vast majority of people are, vaguely interested, the amount of people that already watch Dragon Quest content and therefore will get recommended even more is very small. And that combines with a generally low topic interest over the last 5 years, which had a little peak when 3HD came out but went right back down. To grossly simplify this, when Dragon Quest is not trending in some way, it's not actively being searched for, then YouTube is a very harsh landscape. A video that I will admit I mismanaged badly was the one on Warriors of Eden. It's already super niche, but I kept the title vague, left it up to chance who the video would get recommended to. And of course the people that watch, did Casca enjoy a controversial Berserk argument? Well, of course they aren't up for a video about the Dragon Quest 7 manga. So YouTube absolutely mercy killed that video after it got a bad click-through rate. I'm using that one as a stand-in here, but that's vaguely what the analytics for all the Dragon Quest 7 story analysis videos looked like. There wasn't a market for Dragon Quest 7 story analysis, right? They just got recommended at random, and when nobody out of the first 20 people that got an impression clicked, then YouTube decided that the video would be okay at 0 views. And my channel is still small. It mostly grew during the small peak in topic interest I mentioned earlier. That's how I think it is for most channels. They either heavily advertise themselves outside of YouTube, which in my eyes shouldn't be a necessity. You know, there's a bit of a problem if you can't get a single view on YouTube without promoting yourself elsewhere, or they got most of their total channel views during some uptick in topic relevance. And while most of what I talked about here today was very hypothetical, I think the YouTube landscape for people trying to get into Dragon Quest content creation is something, well, it's way worse than it is for equally big fandoms. But it is something that we can improve, that I can try and improve. At the end of the day, every creator is another chance for people to start watching vaguely Dragon Quest content, which then means that there are more people that the algorithm might decide to push new Dragon Quest videos on. I'm probably getting in way over my head here with my 600 subs, but if you make Dragon Quest content, reach out and I will gladly give you a shout out. Or ask me about anything. I'm always willing to hand out what little advice I can offer. Even getting 5 people to watch my early stuff would have changed a lot, I know that, and I don't want anyone else to be stuck at 0 views. With my videos, I want to make more than just something that feels good for a couple of seconds. I want to make videos with a takeaway, a positive message. But recently so many of you reminded me the positivity is subjective. Saying I want to use my platform to help get new people into Dragon Quest was interpreted as an attack by some people. I will probably get the same responses because I said I'd love to help any aspiring content creators, So if you're one of the people that feel that way, y'all better get used to it.